Mad Maxine Waters calls for the removal of President Trump via the 25th Amendment. The TDS never ends. Mad Maxine Waters calls for Trump's removal using the 25th Amendment, the same lady that ignored brain-dead Joe Biden for 4 years. Crazy Mad Maxine Waters was shooting her mouth off again recently on MSNBC. Maxine Waters wants President Trump removed by the 25th Amendment for firing a crooked Fed governor who lied on her housing applications 3 times. Maxine Waters, as always, is siding with criminals yet again.
As far as I'm concerned, we have to move very aggressively. It is not about, lingering and trying to think that maybe the courts will help us. I want, even though I know it may not happen, the cabinet that he's appointed, a bunch of his sycophants who probably won't do what I would recommend. It is time to call for Article 25 of the Constitution of the United States of America to determine his unfitness, to determine that something's wrong with this president. And I would suggest that we move very aggressively to talk about the danger to this country and to our democracy and not play around with this, because this is absolutely one of the most destructive things that this president could do.
Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz, I mean, your take on this, because I think it's jarring to hear Congresswoman Waters say it's time for the 25th Amendment. But, I mean, presidents have been impeached for much less.
This is true.
And they wonder why their ratings are tanking. Interesting, isn't it? Imagine being a low IQ, psychotic Muppet like Maxine Waters on television, attempting to communicate to the entire country that it's Donald Trump that is the danger here, not the psychotic Muppet that has displayed to all of America for years now that she is the psychotic danger to this country. Trump preparing major immigration enforcement operations in Chicago, possibly considering National Guard deployment. The Trump administration is reportedly preparing to send federal agents and National Guard troops into Chicago as soon as next week, as he ramps up threats against leftist governors and mayors to replicate his takeover of Washington, D.C. Per the New York Times, 200 Homeland Security officials will be deployed and housed at Naval Station Great Lakes near Chicago, potentially for the entire month of September. The enforcement operations will be centered on arresting illegal aliens in the sanctuary state of Illinois, but the National Guard could be used to quell violent rioters, as done in Los Angeles, or to deter crime, as we are seeing in Washington, D.C. The president has recently spoken about potential plans to deploy the National Guard and federal forces in other cities, such as Baltimore, Chicago, New York, and San Francisco. As the Gateway pundit reported, President Trump told reporters on Friday, quote, "I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York." He added, "Now you look at what the Democrats have done to San Francisco. They've destroyed it. We'll clean that one up too." Woke Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has responded to President Trump with an interesting call to action.
We're going to remain firm. We'll take legal action. But the people in this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. And if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city.
Rise up against tyranny, you say, Brandon Johnson? I wonder what that means. I think we all know what that means. It's what Democrats always want. A violent uprising, in my opinion. Don't you find it interesting that all of a sudden, this woke Chicago mayor all of a sudden cares about the safety of his communities? Right. If you really did, you people wouldn't have been all pro defund the police in 2020, and you all were. Now all of a sudden you're concerned about the safety of Americans under your watch? Give me a break. Cancer, acne rosacea, multiple sclerosis, and rheumatoid arthritis are 4 different diseases in 4 different areas of medicine. What if they can all be treated with parasite medication, and that turns out for these diseases to be true? What if I told you that if you had a pet or ate sushi, you are more likely to have parasites? This means that a lot of our ailments that we experience every day are caused not by environmental issues, but by parasites as well. This is something Big Pharma does not want you to know about. I know many of us check off many of these boxes. This is why Purge is offering their new liver cleanse products for all of you out there that need to clear those toxins out once and for all. PurgeStore.com offers everything you need to cleanse and detox your body. Powerful enzymes and probiotics, 15-day colon cleanse protocols, liver cleanse, and of course, the parasite cleanse. Right now, if you go to PurgeStore.com and use promo code DREW, that's DREW, you will get 20% off your entire order. Use the link in the description below, PurgeStore.com, and support the Gateway Pundit today. The Gateway Pundit is supported by the people, we the people, that is you, the American people. We thank you for your support. Illegal alien boyfriend arrested in Mexico for brutal 2023 stabbing death of Illinois immigrant activist Emma Schaefer. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem announced the arrest in Mexico Thursday of 27-year-old Gabriel Calixto Picardo in the brutal stabbing death of his girlfriend, immigrant activist Emma Schaefer, 24 years old, that occurred at Schaefer's Springfield, Illinois home on July 11th, 2023. The illegal alien was brought to the United States by his mother when he was 5 years old and had DACA status until he was jailed for kidnapping a previous girlfriend who says he was later granted asylum after he was released from prison in 2021 and after his deportation case was dropped because of fears of torture in his native country of Mexico. Kristi Noem highlighted Schaefer's murder in a visit to Springfield earlier this year. Noem was denounced by Schaefer's mother, who joined a protest against Noem and complained she had not given permission for Noem to speak about her daughter. Kristi Noem stated on X, "The vicious illegal alien murderer who has been evading justice for 2 years after stabbing 24-year-old Emma Schaefer, has been arrested. We will continue to work with federal authorities to coordinate extradition proceedings. Thank you to our law enforcement partners for bringing this perpetrator to justice." WAND-TV report on the murder. Here's an excerpt. In July 2023, police responded to the 1000 block of South 8th Street after a call from a woman saying her brother had injured his girlfriend. When they arrived, officers found Schaefer stabbed to death. A short time later, a warrant was issued for the illegal alien's arrest. NPR Illinois reported on the arrest of Calixto and the background of Schaefer. Sangamon County's state's attorney John M., the Springfield Police Department, and the U.S. Marshals Service announced today that Gabriel P. Calixto, wanted in connection with the 2023 murder of 24-year-old Emma Schaefer, has been apprehended in Mexico. Schaefer has been described as a young woman intent on making a difference. She was the membership chair of the Sierra Club Sangamon Valley Group, an incoming board member for the Springfield Immigrant Advocacy Network, a former organizer with Faith Coalition for the Common Good, and an active volunteer with countless other community groups. The Illinois Eagle described Schaefer as being involved with the Resistor Sisterhood. Here's an excerpt. Schaefer was part of the leadership council of Resistor Sisterhood, a Springfield activist group advocating for progressive causes. She had been active in work for the LGBTQ community, fighting for women's rights and bodily autonomy. Wow. Interesting how that turned out. This is why you follow the law. Leftist ideology will get you killed. It's not go woke, go broke. It's go woke, get killed. Caroline Leavitt says the Trump administration is not backing down on alligator Alcatraz after an Obama judge orders its closure. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters on Tuesday that the Trump administration still plans to use alligator Alcatraz despite the Department of Homeland Security already taking steps to move detainees somewhere else in compliance with a judge's order. An appeal of the ruling is ongoing. Caroline Leavitt assured reporters on Thursday that the Trump administration is not backing down and will continue to fight the egregious political ruling, the judicial coup.
Alligator Alcatraz. Last week, a judge on an environmental concerns lawsuit said that the administration had 60 days to wind down operations there, state officials did. Now, the administration has not been shy in fighting back against what it calls activist judges, but why is it backing down this time?
We're not backing down. We've always said that we are going to continue to fight in the court of law for what's right, because we know that what this administration is doing with respect to all policy, but also immigration policy, is above the books, and we're abiding by our nation's immigration laws. And we think it's despicable that an activist judge has inserted themselves in this migrant detention facility to the point where DHS is now having to relocate these illegal immigrants to other detention facilities around the country. That is an unnecessary burden burden on the Department of Homeland Security and these agents who should be removing these criminals from our community. That's what the American people elected this president to do. So we've always maintained, Gabe, we're going to comply with court orders, but we're also going to fight back on them on the merits of the law. And DHS is in compliance while we disagree with this decision, and will continue to fight it in court.
Well, it's time to start ignoring this judicial coup. If what they are doing is unconstitutional, and the Trump administration has made this case several times, that these rogue judges, this judicial coup is unconstitutional, and that what they're doing is attempting to subvert the executive branch's power to protect the American people by delivering on these mass deportations. I agree. So ignore and deport. My name is Drew Hernandez for the Gateway Pundit, and you have been on Watch with Drew Hernandez. I'll see you guys on the next one.